YouTube, this is another video by the Geo Scholar. I've been watching the news lately about Hurricane Harvey in Texas, and there's prediction that Hurricane Harvey will make another landfall in Texas. But I just want to talk about what's been going on so far, and some of the geographic parts of this. Obviously, there's been a lot of flooding, people have died, people have been left homeless. There's been a lot of chaos going on in Houston, Rockport, Corpus Christi. There have been a lot of problems. And my last video, I discussed Corpus Christi. This video, I want to concentrate more on Houston. The city of Houston is actually one of the largest cities in the United States of America. In the city limits alone, there are over 2 million people. To understand Houston and all the flooding that it's getting, the city of Houston is situated around Buffalo Bayou. This is basically almost like the river that goes through the city of Houston. And Houston is a very low-lying city. It's barely 2 feet above sea level. And with all of that rain falling, you're going to have flooding as a result of Hurricane Harvey. And as a result, we're seeing interstates flooded, the airport is flooded, and you have to understand what kind of implications that's going to have. Transportation is basically brought to a standstill for the most part. And if you've been watching the news, you've been seeing a lot of people doing rescues on boats. And you have to understand, when transportation is delayed because of flooding or because the airport is flooded and flights can't get in and out, that is a big problem. I talked last time about the economic impact of the hurricane. This is part of it. You have the interstate flooded, goods, people cannot be moved in and out easily. With the airport, people and goods can't be moved in and out easily. You also have to consider the petroleum industry in Houston. You have one of the largest oil complexes near the city of Houston. And with that, it is predicted that gas prices will increase to about 20 to 40 cents per gallon more than what we're currently seeing. In my last video, I talked about there's a possibility of gas prices going up. This is a follow-up saying there's a very big possibility they're going to go up because of the damages being done to the oil refineries. And you also have to think the human cost. There are going to be a lot of people, there are a lot of businesses and a lot of people working at those businesses. There's going to be a lot of people who are going to have to stop working because the facilities and the offices that they work at are damaged from flooding. And that's going to cost a lot of people. It's going to cost a lot of people money. It's going to cost a lot of businesses money. So there's the big geography lesson. There's a big geography lesson there. Human geography, economic geography is going to cost a lot of money to a lot of people. And then you have to think about the fact that a lot of people have lost their homes because of the flooding and because of the wind. And that, you have the human cost right there. And there is more. I also heard on the news, and I should have been thinking about this, but when I think about it, it makes a lot of sense. There is mention about the wildlife that could be lurking around after the hurricane with alligators, snakes, fire ants. One thing to understand about the state of Texas and its biogeography, you are going to find alligators there, you're going to find a lot of snakes there. And the city of Houston being so close to the Gulf of Mexico, being in a low-lying area, being not too far from some marshes, that is a big possibility. And that is kind of worrisome because alligators are dangerous. Very dangerous wild animals to get near. So that is something to worry about. That is something people in Houston are going to be worried about. And then you also have to think about the logistics. You're going to have to think, a lot of people are going to have to be evacuated or are currently being evacuated to shelters. And you have to think about the logistics of how are you going to get people to those places? Or better yet, how do you locate people who are stranded right now? And from what I've heard in the news, there have been some rescues by boats. You know, people have been, because you can't really drive many places, because of the streets being turned into basically rivers, people have to do rescues by boats. And that is a lot to think about with this hurricane. And that is all I have to say right now. Feel free to leave comments. Don't forget to subscribe and check out more videos on this channel. And this is why I personally do what I do. Why I am passionate about geography. Because it is not just places on some map. It's about the people in those places. It's about some of the things that those people have to deal with. It's about how do you live in this environment, or how do you live in that environment, or how does what happens in one place affect you in another place. It's about how this whole world is interconnected. It's about places, it's about spaces, it's about people, it's about the weather phenomenons, it's about the ground beneath you. It's about so much. And that is what I've got to say about this.